if this is going to turn into we got a developer, this needs to be a referendum on it. But they didn't want that, I think it was suggested and
this
it blew
was-
it down.
this
The
was-
problem with that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I've been learning about this quite a bit recently. In fact, I am actually a moderator for a discussion on it that's being filmed this Tuesday. It's going to be coming out this Sunday. But the problem is when you or I sell a piece of property, we have to do a title search on it.
Right.
So we have to tell them exactly to the square foot what is being sold.
Right.
Precisely.
They didn't do that in this case. They did not.
Okay.
If we believe them, they did not know what they were selling.
Okay. Well, the whole.
Well,
here's what the thing is. The whole deal is stinks, and the whole deal is a good example of what has been going on.
Right.
And the way things have been being run, and by the backroom boys that have been having their way with everything for a long time around here, to the point that some millionaire development guy who is part of this group thinks that he can just have his guys on the city council sell him a piece of city property that he's decided he might be interested in for a cut rate, nothing price, barely, should have just given it to him.
Well, it was the county that did this.
Oh, the county. Okay, the county.
Actually, the mayor and them seemed like I think they were against it.
Okay,
themselves.
but can have his guys basically. I mean, it was so cheap they may as well have just given it to him. The price that was paid for the piece of land in no way represented the value of the
I heard
piece of
something
land.
else.
Then has the gall to think that because in the middle of the he had already decided he was going to make millions on it or whatever, and because he had already decided this and all, has the gall that since it has come out what's going on with it and that it may not be quite right and stuff like that, he'll gladly sell it back to him, but of course he still wants millions of profits. It's all the money that I lost in the deal. Gee whiz, we didn't get away with pulling off a backroom deal, and we didn't get away with it. But we'll make it right. We'll let you have the land back for the city, but all we want is to recoup all of our millions of investment in this. I can prove to you how many millions it cost for me to drive my car to work today if you want it,
Let me ask you this: what's your definition of redress?
Like you mean
Like in our First Amendment
redress
rights.
of grievances?
Right.
I believe that means that you can
Bring it back up and
you can
get a
bring it-
different decision if necessary.
you can bring that you can bring it back up. You can do it publicly, and that they will pay attention to you, and it should all be considered.
Well, when they
Yes.
say petition the government for redress of grievance, now that's a specific deal. That means somebody's got to go downtown and file something in Superior Court to stop this thing. And I
Maybe.
just don't believe nobody's done that. They've haggled and argued, whined back and forth. The thing that really burns me is them lawyers up there did this, and then they turn around and act like they're Beaver Cleaver and ain't got no sense. Oh, well, how'd they pull one by all of us? We're trained attorneys here. We're charging people out the yin yang for services every day, and then
They're
a
the
little
trained
thing
attorneys
like
who couldn't
this.
hack it as attorneys. That's the thing.
Well-
Those who do litigate, those who can't go into politics.
Never heard that, but that's.
But I am a believer in the. I'm going to use this word. It's not quite accurate, but I'm a believer in the sacredness of a contract.
Right.
I really don't care about zoning issues, about the needs of the community or anything like that. I am very much a believer in the contract.
Right.
And a contract was violated here.
Right.
George Pack had a contract with the county. The contract said that if this land was used for any private purpose, that it would
Revert
go back
to
to the Pack family.
That's what I think. Yeah.
And them ladies are still alive.
They're still alive, and they are in court right now suing to get the land back because of all this.
And
There's
I'm
a
all
very
for
good,
them too.
There's a very good chance that's the main reason I am on the anti-Parkside side, is because there was a contract. There was a private property rights were violated by the county when this land was sold to Stuart Coleman.
Guess what?
Well, it's a big public outcry against what they did. You know, then to me that redress means you can undo it, and it should be undone. That means it was never legal. That means anything he put into it, he lost. Now I've been to college too.
Like this right here. Come on. Come on, y'all. We're gonna show Gina, show them how to do it, Gina. Just in case y'all didn't know it, you got a website party going on down here.
We're a little late on the 420 roll for the AM.
Urban Trail, y'all. Just a little bit. That's it. That's all. Y'all know what I'm doing. Need some help. Y'all know what's going on? They call this a Cupid slide. What? Come on, y'all. We're gonna show you how it go in a minute. Come on, y'all. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walking by yourself, walking by yourself. Down, down, do you down, do you? Come on. Down, down, do you down, do you? Come on, y'all. Down, down, do you down, do you? What? Down, down, do you down, do you? To the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walking by yourself, walking by yourself. Down, yeah. Come on, y'all. Everybody clap your hands. Put your hands up so we know with it. So we know you with us. Put your hands up. Hey, Heavy E, we got a party going on in here. Now walking by yourself. I want some. To the right, to the right, to the right. To the left, to the left, the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now. Now walking by yourself, walking by yourself. Down, down, do you dance, do you dance? What? Down, down, do you dance? What? Down, down, do you dance, do you dance? Down, 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 do you dance? Come on. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick. Now walking by you. What? Walking by yourself. Come on, y'all. We need some fire up in here. Woo! Hey, you go, bro. We need the fire, baby. We need the fire. If you're having a good time, let me hear you say, woo! Can I hear the ladies scream? Come on, ladies. Down, down, do you dance, do you dance? Down, down, do you dance, do you dance? Down, down, do you dance, do you dance? Down, down, do you dance? Here we go, y'all, come on. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now, now kick, now kick, now kick, now. Now walking by yourself, walking by yourself. To the right, to the right. To the left, to the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now. Now walking by yourself. Walk, walk. y'all figured out by now, we got a party going on. Hey, all right, we gotta, come on, Caesar, give it up. Don't be scared. Come on. We're gonna do it like this, y'all. Everybody, put your hands together. If you're on the dance floor, put your hands together. If you're not on the dance floor, we're gonna do it like this with the drums, y'all. Come on. Can I hear all the ladies in the house say, yeah? Yeah!
Watch The Casey Waters Show, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. on URTV. To get interesting, eccentric, philosophical presentations, and artwork by Judson Laird, which is manipulated using interesting graphic art techniques.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer.
Always Cry Theater and Crowded Fire.
You're watching the 420 roll.
Come on, we want all the brick houses to report to the dance floor. Come on, brick houses. She's a brick house. Yeah, she's sniping my kid. Letting you know, hang out. She's a brick house. You know what? I like Lady Stack. Ain't on the main night. Oh, she's a brick house. She's the one, the only one. I feel like I'm something. She knows she's got everything that a woman needs to give her hand. How can she lose the stuff she used? 36, 24, 36. When I'm in here, she's a brick house. You know what? Yeah, she's like magic. She's a brick house. You know what I like? I like Lady Stack. Like, you know what? The clothes she wear, her sex ways. They got old man wish for younger days. Yeah. She knows she built and she knows how to please. Show nothing not the storm like the sea. She's a brick house. Yeah, she's like magic.
No,
No.
in the yard.
Oh.
So I remember this old trick this fella showed me years ago. This old plumber, his name was Burleson. I used to work for Jack Rogers years ago. And he took his metal clothes hanger and cut it into 2 L shapes. So he said, if you can't find your line by digging, you'll dig all day and not ever find it. He said, but just take him and bend them into 2 L's and walk towards that line, and when you do, they'll spin out to the side. It works.
Oh yeah.
I don't tell how it does it, but it works.
And they did, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's see.
It sure does. It's a modern day divining rod. If you
Alright,
can't
so-
find your water line, just cut a metal clothes hanger in half and make it into 2 8x8 L's basically.
All right. Well, then, did you dig it up?
Nope, not yet. That was just before I came over here. I went running to CVS to buy these because I wanted to make sure if they were wrong, I talked to before I got off the air to get the right ones.
Yep. That should do it.
I try to be supportive of our leaders. My Bible tells me to pray for our leaders. That way, you know, if you
Hey
do
there.
if you do pray for them, you kind of ain't got much of too much stuff to worry about. But
Oh, this one.
anyway, I've had like 8 different surgeries at the VA. This arm, I don't even know how I use it. It's got steel implants in it. It's permanent sutures through the tendons, everything 3 or 4 inches of resected muscle. Lungs gone, ribs cut in half, degenerative disc in the neck. That's enough to make your guy quit and start selling burgers. They won't even touch me. Most people say they won't do it. They won't touch because of scarring.
No chip implants though.
Oh, but I heard that's coming next year.
For ID.
Mm-hmm.
For the VA system.
Oh, for all America. Of course, they won't chip me. They ain't gonna put no 666 on my head or nothing else, 'cause that's when I will stand, and I'll probably fall about that time too.
You probably
If they
won't.
come to put a chip in me or 666 on my head, that's when I'll stand and probably fall.
And fall. But you'll stand.
I'll stand.
Checkout time.
I said, well, you might put it on me, but I'll be dead and gone when you do. And I'm gonna take 3 or 4 with me. I think that ID chipping stuff is probably a good thing for the family pet, or maybe your
Right.
car,
Put it on.
or something like put it on all your possessions. That way, if they get stole, they can find it wherever it is in the world. You know, I believe in that kind of stuff. But to track humans and keep us, no,
Put it on Fido.
no, that ain't gonna happen.
Get
It ain't gonna
Fido
happen in-
chipped.
It ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen in the
If you
hillbilly
wanted-
heaven over here.
If you want to do it on your personal possessions, fine. But if you the government forcing it on you, that's not a good
Well,
thing.
how are they going to keep up with everybody
If
if
the
they
city
don't?
council or the county commissioners want implants, more power to them, but I'm not getting one.
Hasn't it ever dawned on you that if you were a space alien race, and if you were, if part of your deal was you needed to keep up with all the humanoids on Earth,
Catalog.
and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be what you'd want to do? Wouldn't you want to like just chip them all so you can keep up with them?
Yeah, and if you can get them to chip themselves, that's much easier.
Well, that's the way you do.
than the way we do it with birds and stuff like that. We're chipping all animals pretty much on this planet, or tagging them somehow. And I feel sorry for those animals. It's
Because
supposed to
they're
be in the
tagged.
name of science, but I mean, I don't think that people would want to be treated the way that they're treating those
I think we
animals.
need to paraphrase a new
Even though they
phrase
say they're
off
trying to
of
help
an old one. What was that Kennedy said about not asking what the country could do for you, but what you could do for your country? I think we need to kind of paraphrase that and move forward into the space age that we're here. It's not ask what your home planet can do for you, but what you can do for your home planet.
Well, there's thought. Yeah.
Once you get started with those chips, it could be dangerous because you know what they say about chips.
You can't eat
You just can't eat one.
Yeah, they probably need a chip to tell you when you're going to the bathroom or you walked into the basement. We could have a different chip for all these different frequencies.
Permanent chips. Yeah.
And I'm still wondering how come they hadn't come up with like a suit, you know, to capture the energy that we emit. To power up stuff, you know, a little suit taps on, gets its energy charged through, you know, a little aura thing, and little capacitors down the side of the leg to build it all up, and just plug in and juice everything you want to.
Well, did you see that sci-fi movie?
They can run a clock on a lemon.
The Matrix. You saw The Matrix?
movie The Matrix.
Matrix.
The Matrix. You would know if you saw it.
But they basically take humans and use them
As batteries.
to sap their energy. Yeah. They use
Is that what they're doing
They use
in
them
there?
as a power source.
Well, nothing that kind of weird, but yeah, well, I mean, you
Excuse
know,
me.
like for around the house, you know, you probably could do some stuff like that.
Well, the same thing works for, you know, the concept of using humans as batteries, you know, is not that much difference than the concept of using human energy to get things done. They used to call that slavery, but whatever it is, however it is that they tap and direct the energy that the human has to make whatever get done needs to be done.
Yeah, I saw The Matrix as a symbolic. It was just, to me, it seemed quite symbolic of just the way things are, actually.
Yes.
Basically, you know, most of us are going around in kind of a sleep, comatose state, the way we live our life, because we really don't have that much intellectual freedom as we think we have.
Okay, well, see,
You really
like,
step back and look at
see,
things.
you're
Well,
right.
we got smart people, it's just not free to express it.
You're right on to the point. You're right on to a
Herding
point
around
that,
like
that I
cattle.
think is pertinent to the point of why it is that I do this show. I say things on this show. I think that people are somewhat self-governing, and that people don't let themselves think in an expanded manner, and don't let themselves speak in an expanded manner. They don't think that it's proper to say that. As a matter of fact, one of my missions in life is to and I tell people that you know that this is my mission from God, that I have been sent here with this mission that God has charged me with, and that is to let the young people of this world know that it is okay to say hip hop sucks. You can say that.
Not just older people, huh?
That's right. You can say that, and if someone says that, you don't need to feel embarrassed for them because they've made some kind of mistake and have said the unthinkable. You know, it's not that it's, you know. They are words, and they're used to express. And if we have, and in any thoughts that we have, we can express them in our words and things like that. And that they're okay. And I want to encourage people to do that. And you know, it's like for instance, it's unthinkable to many people to criticize our leaders. For instance, our president. For instance, to criticize the president of the United States during a time of war would be unthinkable. But you know, we're in a situation right now where it is necessary for people to criticize our president in the middle of time of war he got us into. We shouldn't even be in to start with.
We should not be in Iraq at all.
Never should have been it. No. And so, and people need to say that, and need to know they can say that, and need to know that it is, if they hear someone say that it is okay for someone to say that, and that people need to be saying that. Okay.
I'm
Now, you
all
may not
for it.
necessarily agree with what I'm saying.
Well, I like to, you know, I
I'm for
criticize the
civilized
president of Russia too. You know, I think I like to spread it around a bit. You know.
Well, yeah, anytime, and that was something else, you know, this little war here. The other day I turned on the computer and I was looking at that Georgian war, and they had about 150 photographs on there. And I saw one dead pilot, and I saw one dead soldier, and the rest of them was little old ladies and blowed up men. And they looked like the only thing they bombed that I saw in this 150 pictures was little old ladies and stuff that's 60 or 70 years old, blowed to bits, and they blew up their apartment complex.
Right.
It made me mad. It made me cry. It made
saw, you know, and I
where's
saw
the soldiers at here?
right. I
There's a
saw
war.
I saw the same thing going on, and
It's genocide.
I saw the
again.
same thing with the Iraqi war. You know, in Iraq, I saw videos of them going in, and they were just going into neighborhoods. They were going into apartment buildings. They were just busting into people's houses and shooting them and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and then after that, I saw the video of these fathers loading their dead children onto a cart, and to see the look in their faces, you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm never going to get over it. I'm never going to get over that.
will.
And there's no George Bush could stand on his head for the rest of his life, and he would never
He'll
he'll never win another point with me. I saw the look. I saw the look on that one man's face as he was carrying his dead child to put on a cart, and that was all I needed to see.
That's all it took. That was the wrong thing to be doing.
That was wrong.
Yeah, I saw that kind of footage too, and it took me back to back in the '60s. I used to live in a place called Pontiac, Michigan, and they had it was called race riots, but it was kind of like police and military riots too.
Right.
They went in and they were shooting up residential homes with tanks, you know, with 50 caliber machine guns.
Where is that at?
You know, great big bullets.
Right
that go
here in our own
right through
country.
the brook. Yeah, right into
Yeah.
Detroit. You know, and I seen footage of it there and then and there, and there was like guys riding up and down the street. It looked like the TV show Rat Patrol. You know, had big machine guns in the back of jeeps and stuff. And
Right.
there was really nothing happening too much right there. Although I did hear a bullet whiz by me one time when I was
Wow.
standing on this, looking up the street. But I went and got my house after that. But
I'm kind of curious about some stuff on this George Bush, since we were talking about him tied up with this war thing. I'm wondering if any of you veterans out there may know this. If you do, kind of contact me and let me know. I'd wonder how many rules of the Uniform Code of Military Justice that the Commander-in-Chief has broken. Everybody speaks about doing this or impeaching him for doing that, but what kind of military rules has he broken? He's bound to have tripped over some of them in there, and if you can't get him for being the leader of the free world, then he may have violated the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and if he did, he needs to be
No longer the commander-in-chief.
he needs to be no longer the commander-in-chief.
Right.
It's in my opinion that he willfully and neglectfully so endangered our troops without the necessity of actually having to be endangered.
Absolutely.
And a whole bunch of furthermores. So if anyone knows that, if any good attorney brain kind of veteran out there's thought about that, and if nobody has thought about it, feel free to start digging. Let us
Then
know.
think about it. See, and that's the point. That's the point. It can be verbalized. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're here for. We're here to verbalize it so that people will think about it. And
There
so
are
that,
options.
and so that the other people will know that they can think about it. You don't have to say, "Oh, we can't think about that." No, you can think about that. We need to think about that, and we can't say, "Oh, you can't say that." Yes, you can say that. I can say that right here on television.
Say it
If
right
I can
here
say
on
this on
TV.
television, you can say it in the privacy of your home. You can say it on the street corner. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now you had something.
I urge people to go ahead and think about but I also have heard an interview with a fellow maybe about 3 weeks ago who was, I believe, an attorney, and he was filing a class action lawsuit against the President of the United States on just the very basis that you're talking
What,
about.
on the uniform breaking
In
as
fact,
a commander-in-chief in danger?
Actually, he was. He went as far as to be charging him with murder.
Treasonous acts.
Right.
Murder.
Murder.
Yeah, and being held, accountable for the
Well, I
loss
see a lot of treasonous
American,
acts there.
of loss of American lives, citizens.
I do see treasonous acts. If they had me on the jury, it'd be treasonous acts, because when you take your National Guard,
I didn't, but I will. Thank you very much.
you take your National Guard, which is our last line of defense. If they
Right.
get past our ocean forces and our armies, and he's took and put them over there on the other
Exactly.
side of the world and left us vulnerable
Right.
to attack on all ports.
Right.
If they're only checking, what was it? They said they checked 1% of the ships that come to the ports daily. So now, and he said there was about 20 per day of them big ships. So that means one ship out of 20 is being, and them ships could be loaded with 5,000 or 6,000 bad guys armed, and they would be in on the ports. They'd take the city's control just that quick.
Right.
And where we at?
And
We're
meanwhile,
fighting
the
with our
National
shotguns and
the
BBs.
National Guard is over in Iraq, where they got no business being.
Our country is not defended right now, and neither is the Constitution that he's actually supposed to be sworn to protect.
Correct.
They've done everything but protect our Constitution. And
Amen.
that's Jeff Turner's opinion and nobody else's unless they state it.
That's right. All the opinions stated on this show are those opinions held by those stating them.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, if I happened to be a citizen of a foreign country and I secured, one of them suitcase nukes,
Oh my God, he's brought a suitcase nuke
I
in.
could
Will.
just,
We won't know it. we
like-
will never
We
know.
like people bringing show
I
and
could be
tell, but
just
you got to draw the
disguised.
line
I
somewhere.
could be disguised as an all-American dad.
You could, and you could be hauling a.
And I
a
could have
nuke.
just walked across the border, pretending to be,
And you've brought a. nuke.
just a immigrant
A
poor
suitcase
worker
nuke in
looking
here.
for work, and came across.
Well, wait a minute, I
That's
got a
exactly what scares me.
I
is
got a
so
suitcase
many
nuke,
immigrant workers
too.
are
I could
crossing
hitchhike
over.
to like DC or something and push the button or something.
I got a suitcase nuke back here.
Better
too.
yet, he can jump off the freighter about a mile off the coast and just walk straight into the Potomac.
We're all getting our suitcase nukes. Have you got a suitcase nuclear device?
I've got a haversack bacteriological device.
How about iPod one? iPod Duke? More or BlackBerry?
It's fine.
Am I advertising too much?
Wow, that's nice.
They're coming out of the closet.
that's a
with
slim
with
line.
suitcase nukes, man. Everybody's got them one. Where do you buy them things
The
at?
slimline nuclear device right here.
I bet somebody out there-
Everybody put your nuclear devices on the table.
That's good.
Let's get our nuclear
Good home.
devices on the table.
Talk about home protection.
Okay.
It's like bad guys stay away from me.
Here's one that's pretty good. I can leave it somewhere and I can make a phone call to detonate it. From
There's a
somewhere else.
detonator.
Right, yeah,
Okay,
here.
so-
You want to borrow mine?
Well, yeah, maybe one makes a smaller bang, but if you get a lot of them, put them together.
Oh,
One
yeah,
particularly
yeah.
interestingly gruesome bit from The Dark Knight. Have you seen that?
The Dark Knight?
Yeah, the movie.
No, I keep my eyes closed at night, man.
But I'm bummed.
Hide under the bed.
The Joker, the main bad guy.
I haven't seen it. Oh, that movie, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Can I spoil something for you?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. He got one of his minions, who's crazy, and did some surgery and put a little bomb inside him and a cell phone.
Yeah.
So when the Joker demands his one phone call, he makes a phone call and activates the bomb inside the guy because it's attached to the cell phone whose number he just called. That was just
That was in a Jackie Chan movie too, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh, okay,
It was some
probably.
pretty girl crammed something down his throat. And it was a bomb.
Oh.
She was gonna blow his head off or something, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
Poor old Jackie Chan.
Poor-
He's always getting beat up in the movie.
The biggest question for me is I can think of all kinds of dastardly ways to do bad things, but
Right.
and so many of them seem so easy to pull off if one really wanted to do it. But I don't want to say what some of them are because I don't want to give anybody ideas. But why hasn't it been done already? That's what I'm wondering.
We actually hire people to sit around and think of the worst situations. You know,
Yeah.
they actually pay people to do that in these think tanks. What's the worst situation that could happen?
I can think of two reasons
And then
why.
and then sometimes they can't. That's how they came up with 9/11. Best I could tell.
Right, unless they figure out how to make $1 off
gonna
of
put
it.
mine
Let's
back
kill
down
3,000 or
here.
4,000 and make a few bucks.
Oh, that's all
Well,
I've.
I can
sure
think
it
of
don't
two
go
reasons why we have not had a suitcase nuke attack in America.
Okay.
Well, A, I don't believe they're nearly as easy as everyone says.
Well, that's a little bit harder, yeah, to do. But there's other things that are easy.
Well, yes, but with a nuke, if you're going for the actual classic nuke, of nukes, you got the big nukes. And among nukes, which are pretty hard to make, those are the easy kind to make. Then you get the suitcase nukes. those are really hard to make. Not only you're making a nuclear device, making a miniature nuclear device. That takes technology that even the countries that have nukes don't really have technology to do miniature nukes.
Yeah, you're not gonna make no plutonium in your bread toaster at the house.
Yeah, that's a
Probably not.
It's a high-tech weapon, and it's not
You
as
haven't
easy to
seen my
come by.
bread toaster.
But there's a lot of
That'd be a good one,
there's a lot of low-tech
Quick, quick.
weapons just sitting out there